All right, we're live with Danny, who's greatness, and the Falcons again, joining us. I also have Brenton and the Cowboys, who is rated red on TSO, joining us for our second edition of Hard at Work Roll Call. We were supposed to have some AFC South guys on today, but they bailed out. Don't know what's going on, but if you don't show up, you don't make the show, so always good to have backups. So what's going on, guys?
I wouldn't consider us backups. We're more of full-time starters. We just stepped in when the others couldn't pick up the slack.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the AFC South. Yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah,
Look, the AFC is not important anyway. That's all you need to know is it's all about the NFC.
Very true. And we have now we have ratings for 75% of
man.
NFC, and so give us your thoughts about the Cowboys ratings there, Brenton.
I'm going to start off and I'm going to say Tony Romo was horrendously underrated. I think he definitely deserved to be in the top five. You can call it personal opinion. You can call it what you want. His stats last year speak for themselves. I'm not going to say he should have deposed Aaron Rodgers for his top spot because Aaron Rodgers is just fantastic. But I would definitely say that he's better than Andrew Luck at this current moment. I mean, if you're talking longevity, obviously Andrew Luck has a whole lot more time left. Dez at 96, I think you could argue any of those top five guys. You could argue that Demaryius Thomas should have been in the top five, and I think he should. But I'll take Dez at 96. That's fine with me. I think they had Jason Witten in the top five tight ends with 93 overall, and I'm okay with that. I think maybe it's a little generous. I'm not sure Witten is still top five tight end material, but then again, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, he's definitely solid, and he's going to be conceivably till he retires, and the dude's as well-rounded of a tight end as you can get. I'm going to step out an unpopular opinion on my own team and say Sean Lee at 89. While I'll take it, it's a little bit overrated. I mean, the guy hasn't played a snap in like almost 2 years at this point, so I definitely think he should have taken a step back. Rolando McClain at 86, I'm all right with, seeing as how he was like a 79 or something last year. But I think so far the ratings they put out, the O-line looks solid. I mean, I've only got two spots that need a little improvement in Doug Free and Ronald Leary, and hopefully Lyle Collins isn't too low rated, and maybe I can go ahead and start him and get him going. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked they didn't give you any defensive line. At least give us a Hardy rating, or I was kind of shocked at just how many people they didn't give compared to the other teams for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, I to give Darren McFadden rating and not give Hardy, and then to not give Joseph Randall's rating, knowing that that's going to be a committee down there. I'm kind of just shocked at that.
Yeah, or Byron Jones, for that matter. He's our first-round pick. You figure we could at least get that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand EA logic at all. We're
Yeah,
15
I mean,
away, and hopefully, maybe the end of this week or early next week, we'll see some more ratings for teams. Whatever's in their bag of tricks.
the Cowboys, though, if I can touch on that for a second, like 3 of their 5 offensive linemen being 91 overall or higher, and then I feel like both of the other spots are going to be at least 83 or higher, more than likely. I mean, that's insane. That's crazy good. Um, it'll be interesting to see what McFadden actually looks like in the game. 76 overall is decent. It's not great, but obviously overall can be weighted higher or lower based on certain attributes. So you really have to see the key attributes to see what that 76 overall actually represents.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Correct.
I mean, obviously, offensively, you've got a reliable tight end, Jason Witten. You got a true standout number 1 receiver in Dez Bryant. You've got an elite quarterback. Like, if Darren McFadden or any of the other halfbacks are decent on that roster with that O-line, you can really do a lot of things offensively in Dallas. I do want. I feel. I don't know. Like I don't watch no Dallas games, but I did read a lot that Orlando Scandrick was a little overrated. I don't know how Dallas fans feel about him.
Well, he was in Pro Football Focus's top 100 players of last year, so I think his rating is justified.
But that division as a whole, I think the Eagles are very close in terms of talent. They also have a really good offensive line, not quite as good. But once you get past the Eagles, there's a pretty decent drop off into the other two teams. So it'll be interesting how much the overall of a team impacts the users. Because you got Dallas at 86 overall, and then you've got the Redskins, who I believe is actually coached by you, Ibo, down at a 75 overall.
Yeah,
That's almost a 10-point overall difference. Where in previous Maddens, that big of a difference can make an impact on the field.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how bad, and what everybody's saying right now, from what we've seen, everything's been nerfed, and I agree with it. But it's going to be interesting to see how that nerf effect actually takes place on the field between the teams, because the O line easily could just blow through people's D lines. If you got Philly or
Yeah.
Dallas with a decent O line. Whereas, who's to say the D line doesn't have a significant advantage this year?
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like if you look at it, arguably the top two offensive lines in the league might actually be in the NFC East with Philly and Dallas. Um, Last Madden, as we all realized from Coach, offensive line was hugely a point early on. Like he got his run blocking up to 99 on everybody. It seemed like season one.
Well,
And
yeah, and it didn't hurt that he had DeAnthony Thomas, and when speed was at a premium,
yeah,
just absolutely torching people.
that's another thing. Speed, will speed still be at a premium? You got Des Bryant, who I believe it was underrated. I think he got like 89 speed,
Yeah.
which is a little. I don't know. I figured he'd at least have a 90 at least, but what about these young guys that are going to have 93, 94 speed? Is it still going to be the same as old Maddens where everybody just wants the guys that have high speed regardless of what everything else is? Or will the other ratings really start to shine more since speed has been brought down to a more realistic level?
I'm really thinking that's the reason they dropped speed, and I don't know because obviously I'm not a game changer or anything, but I really think the drop in speed is so that people will stop putting speed at such a premium because you can be the fastest guy in the NFL. I mean, and you're not that dominant. Look at, Chris Johnson, he was fantastic, but now look at him. I mean, he may not be as fast as he was, but he didn't put up 1,000 yards.
One of the,
Thomas,
I think
super fast.
I think what has to happen for that to happen though is the easy attributes that are easy to level up, like catching, for example, super cheap to level up. You can draft a 95, 96 speed guy that has like 70-something catching, low 70 catching, but the catching is so easy to get up compared to getting speed up a couple points that it's just ridiculous easy to get that catching up into an 80-something. Whereas if it's a little more expensive to get catching up, then you really have to start to value what their catch rating is at to begin with.
Correct. Yeah, I would like to see even, a future system where it's based on what you do on the field, how you level. You still earn your experience points, but it costs more to level up, like you said, your key attributes. But say you have a year where you put up, let's say, 1,400 receiving yards. Obviously, you're going to get a bigger boost in the preseason, or maybe it gives you a discount during the preseason on what you can level. But yeah, I definitely think there's got to be a weight on these spots that are easy to level up. And people can go through looking for whatever the word is for that. So.
Greatness, you having product placement for instant lunch there right now, or what?
Well, they pay me. I have to give them certain advertisement time, but yeah, I mean, that's just a big thing. I've always hated the whole speed is everything mindset in Madden. Like, you always want to get the guy with 98 speed. Who cares what the other attributes are? Because they're so much easier to get up. Like, I want to put value on a receiver's ability to actually catch the ball. Like, I don't want to be sad because I got an 88 speed wide receiver that has really high catching skills. Like last Madden, look how many times an 88 speed wide receiver, cornerback, or halfback got drafted that had great other skills, but everyone looked at it as a disappointment just because his speed was an 88 overall.
Yeah, I've got a Buck Perkins. He had
Like
fantastic and everything else, but that
the
88.
focus just needs to be on, in my opinion, speed's great, sure, but you need a whole all around player. And I don't think it should be as easy to make receivers so strong just by getting a couple points and catching.
Correct. I agree. And like you said, you look at the NFL, and there's people who run insanely amount of time 40s, and they're not great.
Yeah, I mean, sure they might be great kick returners, but
Yeah, I'm hoping to see this. This will definitely be a year of change, and even next year, with the ratings guy being gone, it'll be a definite. Will either improve or they'll go completely off track next year. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting. I think they're heading in the right direction. I've been a fan of them adding the draft combine for everybody to see, so you can see 40 times and stuff like that. And I really like the direction they're going in, but obviously there will always. I don't think they'll ever make a perfect game. There's always going to be stuff that people want in that's not going to be in the game. But I like the direction the game is moving in.
yeah, they've added a lot of stuff that little stuff that people overlook that and then they're like, oh, we're not going to buy it because they didn't add this. But definitely some of the changes they've made with like the combine, it's going to be interesting to see. Now I don't have to scout that player so heavily for speed stat or vertical jump stat. I'm going to see that at the combine. I can focus on things that I need to focus on, and hopefully that is the right direction where speed don't matter. So it'll be interesting to see this year. What do
All
you
right.
think about your your Atlanta Falcons?
Oh man,
Their ratings getting
it's very interesting. I actually feel like we didn't get as many players as other people did. We only got 3 defensive players, which, as many people know, is like the area that I like to focus on the most. I guess it's kind of good that the offense is as stacked as it is, where I can build the defense. But
You're welcome for Justin Durant, by the way.
yeah, I was actually going to get to that. Matt Ryan, 90 overall. I would argue that he should be higher, but hey, I don't make the ratings. I'm happy with a 90 overall. He'll be a great quarterback. Julio Jones, I mean, like you said, you can make a case for any of the top 5 guys in receiving to be the best overall receiver. I do think Julio is either number 1 or number 2 in terms of best wide receiver in the league.
I think you lost your mind, but we're just gonna.
Anyway, Roddy White, I feel like actually is still getting a higher overall strictly because of his name. I don't feel the past couple of years he's been the same Roddy White. He is only an 84 overall, but it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I think because he is an 84 overall, I will have the best wide receiver tandem outside of legacy players to start the season with. Julio and Roddy give me great targets.
Again, you've lost your mind.
Who else in the what duo in the NFC South would you rather have than Julio and Roddy White?
In the NFC South?
Yeah, that's what I said. In the NFC South.
Sorry, my bad. In the NFC South, I would nobody. I'd take Julio.
Actually, okay, in the NFL, what wide receiver duos would you take over Julio Jones and
I'll
Roddy
take
White?
Dez and T. Will over anybody.
No, I mean, you can make a case for Dez, but T. Will,
Dude,
I don't
T. Will
think
is
he's
awesome.
better than Roddy White.
Well, he's probably. I mean,
I would say Julio and Dez are a wash. Like, I would put them on the same level, but I would take Roddy over.
You've lost your mind. You're stepping out. Dez is way better.
You're letting your homerism blind you to the fact.
Ibo, back me up. Dez is better than Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking to 2 Cowboys fans here. Of course you're going to say Dez is better than Julio Jones. I mean, I think if you asked an unbiased fan, Dez might be slightly better currently because of how physical he is, but I would put Dez and Julio on the same term of level playing field.
I'll say that. I mean, they're pretty close to being level, but I think Dez, like you said, has the upper hand right now. And down the road, Julio could take that, but
I mean, look at the game Julio had against Green Bay last year. Look at how he just absolutely raped Patrick Peterson last year. Uh, it was just a really dominating year for him. He didn't actually have that many touchdowns though, which was a little weird. But back to the point. The one thing I was extremely happy to see that I've been waiting forever to see is what they would rate Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman at. Because I did plan to use those two as my two backs basically for the whole cycle. God forbidden one of them completely suck outside of their overalls. They're both extremely close in terms of overalls, and one's a rookie and the other is a one-year pro. Like I really feel like I can do a lot of work with them. Defensively, only three guys. It was a little disappointed. I guess our defense does suck though, so I shouldn't expect too much. Desmond Trufant, 90 overall. I actually think Desmond Trufant is the fifth best cornerback in the league. I think PFF actually rated him as the fourth. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was top 5 with them. Justin Durant coming over from Dallas, one of
You're
our
welcome.
best defensive players, 84 overall. It'll be interesting. Vic Beasley, honestly, in my opinion, is probably the best defensive rookie just because of his physical attributes to have this cycle. Like it. Depending on how the D-line versus offensive line changes happened from Madden 15 to Madden 16, if it's anything like it was in Madden 16, I could easily put up 20 sacks a season with Vic Beasley, and he'll be an absolute monster the whole cycle.
You hope.
I'm just saying, like, I had two guys average 20 sacks a season for, like, 3 seasons in a row.
I had a defensive tackle average 20 sacks a season.
Yeah, that was one guy. I had two guys average 20 sacks each season for 3 years in a row.
Fair point.
Hey, just saying, you didn't sack me once to my like 8 sacks in the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, I was playing with a roster that I had no idea who was on it. But
I'm a sack happy guy. I feel like I'll get some sacks out of one guy. I hate the fucking Redskins. I
You got
love
Junior Galette, though.
I
Galette's a
love
good
that I got the Redskins. I hate them. No, yeah.
You guys hear me?
I'll get some good sacks with the
Yeah.
Redskins this year. And so, but your Atlanta team, whew, I
It
don't
needs a
know.
lot of work still. I mean, offensively, I need an offensive line. Like I have Jake Matthews and John Asamoah. I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name right, honestly, but they're solid.
I
But
think it's Asamoah, maybe.
I'm not sure. I never really learned how to pronounce his name. He's a guard. But anyway, they're solid. They'll be there probably the whole cycle. But the rest of the offensive line will probably need a completely redone. I'll need a middle linebacker. Brooks Reed will probably only be good for like 1 season, and I need to replace both safeties. So I still have a decent amount of work to do in terms of roster, but the base offense is pretty set.
Yeah, and, I think your division, I remember as soon as Friday they released the NFC East, someone popped off in the chat box saying NFC East was the worst. Or no, it was yesterday. They missed the Packers and saying the NFC North was the worst division out, and then they seen the Packers. But it's easy to say that NFC South is the worst rated division.
Oh well, I mean, you're looking at a division that had no teams with even a 500 record last year. So, I mean, I kind of predicted in terms of overall, we would probably be the worst division, but I really strongly stand by the fact that this will still be the toughest NFC division in the cycle.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think the NFC East is probably the weakest. No offense to you, Ibo, but I ran the East last cycle until I left it, and I've never played you or Papa Perry. So the big problem we got is the only 2 users in the East anybody can judge on is me and Fokker, and I don't think I lost to him once last cycle. So
That playoff game.
I
Never
really
forget.
think the NFC South is going to be the juggernaut of HaW 16 if I had to pick.
Yeah,
I think the AFC South will end up being the AFC West from last cycle. I'm not sure how Zcar and Ronchi are going to perform. I didn't play Zcar last cycle, and
He's ridiculous. Don't
it took
count him out.
Ronchi a pretty long time to get going. I'm not sure how he's going to be without a key tight end to target and without any like superstar wide receivers. Because it seemed like he got going after his players developed to the point where he had superstars out there to throw downfield to.
Well, I mean,
So,
doesn't he have Cooks? Isn't that the guy that the Saints?
yeah, he's got
Is anyone
Cooks,
else getting
but
a feedback problem?
I think Cooks can be really good. I'm just not sure to start the game he's going to be a superstar level receiver. Because if you look at the NFC South, for example, and you look at everybody's top corners, you got Alter and Werner, Trufant, and I don't know who Carolina has in their secondary. I don't think it's anyone to brag about, though.
The Saints have Browner. I think the best guy Carolina has is Peanut Tillman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Brandon Cooks, especially against Alter and Werner and Desmond Trufant, being able to really have that breakout impact. I think he's going to need 1 or 2 seasons to find a couple other players to add to his receiving core to get there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought you were about to say something, Ibo. I didn't want to.
I was going to
I think the Saints purge this offseason is really going to hurt Raunchy, at least in season 1. But I think he's good enough at drafting, and I think he's good enough at his development that I think by season 2, season 3, he could definitely be in the mix.
I mean, I think losing Jimmy Graham obviously will hurt. Any team losing a player like that will hurt. But he did get a really good center, and he also got C.J. Spiller.
Yeah,
I mean, I do think that'll help a lot, but I just don't. I think his passing game is going to struggle. He's a little turnover prone, and playing mini coach twice a year with that proneness is going to make it extremely hard to. That's going to have to be something that he grows out of playing us constantly.
Well, iron sharpens iron, so you guys are only going to make each other better.
Yeah. So. I would say this for any user that's trying to get better. I mean, it's obviously key advice, but it's also obvious. Like, when you're playing the top-tier playoff teams, you can't throw 2 interceptions and expect to win the game. Like, people have to learn how to limit turnovers to consistently win the games in Madden, especially against the top-tier teams.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, I've definitely learned in my days of playing on the site, turnovers cost you a game. I've only come out of one game that I've thrown +5 turnovers, interceptions actually, that I've won. But any game that I throw more than 2 or 3, I'm done. Especially if someone knows how to capitalize on those turnovers.
I do want to touch on one point about the NFC South real quick that I thought was interesting. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be starting more than likely a 67 overall left tackle and a 70 overall right guard. I think that'll be very interesting to see how Coach deals with an offensive line that lowly rated to start with.
Yeah, it'll be definitely a scouting report to go in there and look at that stuff and target those 2 players especially.
I mean, one thing I'll touch on real quick since Raiders stepped off.
Sorry, I had to get my phone charger.
One of the mistakes I see with a lot of guys in the league, and this is take it how you want it, if you get a situation where it's 3rd down and say like 17 or 18, I've seen so many people throw interceptions trying to get that 1st down. Like, sometimes you just have to realize it's better just to punt the football. Like, don't take chances unless you have to take the chances. Or if people get the football with a minute left in the half on their own 20-yard line, and they throw a pick 6 because they're trying to add on extra points with only a few seconds left in the half. And it's just a lot of greed that costs people so many extra points.
Give me the plug. Sorry.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all those statements. So, but it does look like it's football time, if I believe, and I know it's preseason. The line is showing Minnesota by 3 tonight. Let's hear some predictions from. Go at it, Danny.
I don't really like making preseason predictions because it doesn't matter very much, and I don't even know who's playing. Like, I heard most of the starters for Pittsburgh wasn't even taking a snap tonight.
Yeah, they're.
I would predict Minnesota to win because I have to pick somebody, and I don't really know who's playing for either team. So I'll say Minnesota wins by 10. Let's go.
Well,
10.
I know that Teddy Bridgewater's playing tonight, but AP's sitting out. So yeah, I'm going to say Minnesota wins, but it doesn't really matter.
I'm just happy to be watching football again, boys.
Yep, and a game of shits and giggles tonight. I think Pittsburgh will pull it out. But it's going to be interesting to see football back on TV instead of replays. So, but I guess till Wednesday, if we don't have any more guests on, I know you two are probably down to clown and get back on the air. So, if no one else shows Wednesday, we'll see you guys Wednesday night. And till then, take it easy.
Sounds good, man.